Thanks, guys. Hey, it's great to hear. So here's my deal. I'm watching the game. Stroman's cruising along, and the guy even hits a home run. That guy has a heart of a lion. Let him pitch. Weaver's great. I realize we got guns in the pen, but are we going to come around to that again?
But wait a minute, Mike. So they brought in Weaver, right? He got the next 2 outs. Stroman wasn't pitching a complete game.
No.
So what'd they do wrong?
I don't know, but there's he's got the mojo. He's cooking.
No. There's no such thing as mojo, Michael. I mean, that's not how the game works. These people are asking questions like they just flew in from another planet, hadn't seen baseball in 30 years. I'm sorry. He pitched into the 8th inning. He was great. He gave up a home run. He's approaching 100 pitches. What do you expect him to do? Keep him in? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Oh. That's just a silly comment.
We can't have this conversation every time the bullpen melts down, but it wasn't Weaver that melted down, so he wasn't going to go beyond that inning anyway. Even if he stayed in, Michael, eventually he's going to come out.
Of course. It doesn't make sense. Weaver got the 2 outs, and then the movers are bringing homes, and for the first time this year, he didn't have it.
I was shocked that they lost that game, though. They've been on cruise control, and in that game, they were on cruise control. But that's baseball, Susan, right? I mean, Seattle's a really good team. But I did not see that coming. Did you? I mean, you called it, Michael.
I was stunned.
I mean, I went out with some friends, like gentlemen, watched the Met game that felt like it was over in a blink of an eye. I don't think the Guardians had a hit after the 4th inning, and they ended up winning that game 3-1. So I'm watching the Yankee game, and they look like they were in complete control. And you know what happened, Peter?
What's that?
So I go home, and I turn on the Oiler Canuck game 7.
Oh, damn right you did.
And then as I'm going to bed, I check my phone, and I see Anthony's text about, what miserable loss. I'm like, what? I just assumed they won the game. They just seemed like in full control of that game. I was shocked they lost.
I think they were shocked. I mean, that should have been the 8th win in a row, and it's a tough loss, but you're going to have those. Let's go to Alex in Virginia.
Hey, Mike, after the game yesterday, I just want to say, the overall vibe of Yankee Twitter, you would think after a game like that, Yankee Twitter is going to do what Yankee Twitter does, be violent, blame this, blame that. But I saw an overwhelming amount of, hey, we'll get them tomorrow. And I think the Stroman tweets helped a lot with that. It seems a little unusual for Yankee Twitter.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be awfully miserable after they won 7 in a row and they have the best record in the American League to go crazy over one loss. Those were unimpeachable moves. You bring in your closer when you have a 3-run lead. It's not like he made a strange decision. He brought in his closer. It didn't work out. That's all there is to it. Nothing gets a manager critiqued more than if he brings in a relief pitcher and he doesn't work. But that was the move, to bring in Clay Holmes. It's not like he went off the reservation and kept Luke Weaver in for the 9th inning. So, I mean, maybe they just appreciate the fact that the team's playing great baseball.
How can you? Well, listen. How can you complain? I mean, the Yankee fans are known to complain, but this year specifically, everything's going gloriously. Honestly, I mean, we're the only other team that's better is Philly, and you don't even have to worry about them unless you make the World Series. So, what's there to be concerned about? You've been able to hold off a really good Baltimore team. If there's any nitpick, it might be how they played against elite teams, but that's just a nitpick.
See, but that doesn't make sense to me either. All right, so they lost 3 out of 4 to the Orioles, and the 3 games they lost, Rodon didn't pitch well in one of the losses. The other 2 games were close. They beat the Guardians, who have the best record in the Central. They beat the Astros 6 out of 7. The Astros have won 9 of their last 11, and they might end up still winning the West. I mean, they've beaten everybody that you put in front of them. I don't. Okay, so they lost 3 out of 4 to the Orioles and 1 to the Mariners. It doesn't make sense to critique them.
No, but again,
they beat the Diamondbacks 2 out of 3. They were National League champions.
I just said a nitpick. I don't think there's anything to complain about this team other than, hey, it's early and a lot can happen. But they're off to a terrific start, and they're one of the best teams in baseball. What else can you ask for? And for Knick fans that are Yankee fans, as disappointed as you are that your basketball season is over, guess what? Your baseball team's got you covered.